with Transformational Vedic Astrology. We're going to look at the very interesting chart of Anderson Cooper, who's a well-known CNN newscaster anchor. If you look to the horizon, he was born June 3rd, 1967, in the evening in New York. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you'll see the constellation representing Virgo rising at 25 degrees. We want to look at first how the planets are operating in his chart and when they're operating. So let's first we want to see if there are any challenging planets in his chart. So for the Virgo, we look at the Multrikona signs 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11 that fall in the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th house. Those become challenging planets. So we see Saturn ruling the 11th sign of Aquarius. That becomes challenging. We see Mars ruling Aries, the first sign, in the 8th house. That becomes challenging. And then we see Sun ruling Leo in the 12th house. That becomes challenging. The other planets can give good results. And Rahu and Ketu are challenging for every chart. Not all the time, but whenever they come under afflictions or pass through the 6th, 8th, or the 12th house, or they're afflicting other planets as well. So let's first look at Sun. It's at 19 degrees. It is a challenging, we say, functional malefic planet. It is ruling this 12th house of losses, expenses, prison, hospitalization, separation, depression, and we find it in the house of father, guru, teaching. So this brings loss into the house of father. He lost his father at a very early age. And Sun is also afflicted by Saturn, which is representing partners, which is representing health. So his father's health was afflicted, and Sun represents heart as well. So he had cardiovascular issues, as does Anderson Cooper. He has to kind of watch his cardiovascular issues. Moon is at 0 degrees, very weak. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees or greater than 25 degrees becomes, in old age or in young age, which is weak. It rules the 11th house, which is income, friendships, and it is placed in this 8th house of death-like experiences, but also inheritance, windfall. So this also house represents an older sibling. So he had a brother that committed suicide at an early age. So this gives windfall through his mother, but also, death-like experiences to his brother. Mars is at 22 degrees. We know it's a functional malefic or challenging planet, and it's very close to the most effective point. Any planet that's within 5 degrees of this most effective point can cause harm to not only other planets that it's aspecting or afflicting, but also houses. So Mars aspects 4, 7, and 8 houses away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's first house. Mother, property, family, happiness. 5, 6, 7. Relationships. 8. This house of death-like experiences. So Mars brings that aspect of death-like experiences into relationships and into longevity, self, health as well. So it also gave him great courage. Was on a lot of military assignments in dangerous places. But Mars afflicts the mother, and with death-like experiences. So she lost her husband and her son, which were very, very traumatic for her. Let's see. Mercury is at 11 degrees, very strong planet. It's ruling the house, the first house, in the career house, the 10th house, and so Mercury is that the intellect, the sharp intellect, the ability to communicate, and it gave a career through communication and being a critic. Virgos are known as great news critics or food critics, etc. Let's see. So Jupiter's at 8 degrees, also very strong. It is ruling this house of family, happiness, mother, and it is in this house of income and friendships. So it gives a great income through mother. His mother was Gloria Vanderbilt, very wealthy family. Income through family as well. And Venus is at 3 degrees. It's weak. It's less than 5 degrees. Rules the second house of speech and fame and wealth and recognition. And it is placed in this house of income. So it says he can have income through Venus. Also is entertainment. So income through entertainment and speech, ruling this house of speech. Saturn is at 16 degrees. It's functional malefic. It rules the 6th house of health and death and accidents and things like that. And it's in this house of, this is older siblings, income, and friendships. So it gives income and recognition through speech and entertainment. Saturn gives. Saturn is okay. So yeah, Saturn is in this house. Excuse me. It's in this house of partnerships. So Saturn gives an older partner. It afflicts Sun, and gave issues for the father. And this planet can affect his health. His Saturn represents physical structure, so he has to be careful about that. Rahu and Ketu are at 13 degrees. They're respectively in the 2nd and the 8th house. So Ketu gives spiritual insights to his speech, his communication. He's has very good morals. Rahu is in this house of death-like experiences. So, that can give some, when it is afflicting other planets in the transit chart, it can give some problems. It afflicts, Ketu afflicts Mercury. So at an early age, he did have dyslexia and some past life karma stuff. The remedies for the chart would be to wear a lot of green, have a lot of green around him. Green sheets, etc., green towels. He could wear an emerald on his right pinky finger, around 2 carats. Yellow is also a good color. Blue is light blue is a good color. He can, those are the main things. He should avoid white and black and red. and wear a kavash to strengthen Venus. That would give a boost to his abilities as an entertainer. It would also strengthen Moon. He could wear a pearl as well. But a kavash would do both, and Moon would give him even more income. So, and then charities, and he's involved in a lot of charity work to men who are like brothers for Mars, and to elderly men who cannot help themselves, and as well as other people who need help. All of these three, and Rahu and Ketu as well. So that's the chart for Anderson Cooper. If you're interested in a transformational Vedic astrology reading, I think you'll find it very interesting. There's a lot of remedies. You can email me at michaelmastrovastu@gmail.com, or sign up on our website at vastucreations.com. We also teach Vedic astrology as well.